My parents always described me as a sort of an adventurous child. I really like to go outside, get my hands dirty, and find new things. And you know, when you're small and little, you think like a big rock's like this huge mountain that you're just like amazed with. So that love of discovering new things and sort of going out of your way to adventure, just finding out what's in nature, I really love that. So as I grew up, I joined Boy Scouts for a bit. And all throughout elementary school I did that. Didn't really like it, felt that it was too much of a structure. I liked to just more relax when I went out into the wild, I guess you could say. So as I kept going, I went on more trips with my dad and I, where we just went on like more backpacking trips and hiking, stuff like that. And we went on, kept graduating to a longer, more difficult trips, I guess you could say, like 4 or 5 days to 10 days, stuff like that. Pretty decent trips. And so we did that for a while until I was about 17, and then I started to do stuff where I wanted to go out on my own. And I did that for a few more years until about a few months ago, where this scared me, kind of slowed my roll a little bit, is that I was going on a trip with my dog my dog Charlie's he's 2 years old, he's an Australian Shepherd. He loves going on these trips with me. He basically just loves running around the camp when we're there, hiking, stuff like that. So on this trip, it was a few months ago, it was I believe October, and it had rained the day before, so we got to the trailhead. It's a 7-mile hike in. We walk up, didn't rain, no big deal. We got to the campsite around 4 o'clock. And set up camp for the night and went to bed because it was dark. We couldn't really do anything back then. The night went fine, no big deal. And the next morning, after we woke up and ate breakfast and walked around for a bit, I was going to go fish for some trout because there was a river nearby the campsite. And as I was fishing, Charlie comes up to me, because meanwhile I'm not really keeping track of him. He's just running around the campsite, really doing whatever he wants, and he's covered in shit. I mean, like he's got pretty long fur, so it's all stuck to him. I'm like what the fuck? Why is my dog covered in shit? And I realized it reeks, and not only is it's fresh too, right? So I'm like, okay, and I look and I'm like, so there's the stream, and then I'm on a rock, and then I see this pile over there. It was probably about that big. And I was like, what's that from? Right? Like, I'm like, okay, something had to have made a poop that big. So I got a little nervous, and I started realizing that it was a bear. And so I was like, okay, there's a bear at my site. I gotta pack up, leave, just get out of there. You don't know what's there. It could be a mama bear, it could be a papa bear. You really don't want it to be a mama bear. And so I go to finish packing up, and as I'm packing up, I hear like a twig break. That was a terrible twig breaking sound. And as I'm rolling up my tent, I look behind me, and there's like a 10-foot bear. I mean, it's standing up. It's just like standing like that, and it makes eye contact with me, and I make eye contact with it, and it just, like, what felt like forever was probably only about 5 seconds. But he just kind of like winks at me, and then gets back down on all fours and walks away. And I stand there for a little bit, and I'm just like, fuck. So I finish packing everything up. I throw everything in my bag. I get Charlie on his leash, and I start the hike back. And I wasn't running. I have a huge bag on my back, but I was kind of like at a slow jaunt pace. And like I said, since it's rained the day before, I was starting to see tracks on the trail, and there were big bear tracks. So I figured he must have followed me. So as I'm realizing that, I'm like, oh shit, right? So and then I get to the end of the trail, the beginning technically of the trail, and I'm throwing everything in my trunk, and then I realized I had forgot Charlie's bed, water bowl, and food up there, and you don't really want to leave those. That's trash. It's just not good. And so I ended up hiking back, and luckily I didn't see him, and then I went all the way back to the truck, and then when I got to the back of the truck, I was like, my heart was beating. I was hoping he didn't follow me again, because that dog food does smell, and animals, they love dog food. It's kind of a weird thing, but anyways, we get in the truck, and as I'm beginning to drive away, there's a field, and then beyond the field there's a tree line. And then as I see the tree line, I see 3 little black things. And it turns out it's 2 cubs and then another bear. I don't know if it was if it was the same bear, but yeah, that was about the story of how I met a bear.